There was a time when the American muscle car performed all its tricks with the steering wheel pointed straight ahead. Detroit Iron built its image on burnouts, quarter-mile runs, looking fast while parked, and chasing pedestrians out of the crosswalk with a prod of the throttle. But if it weren't for the V8 snarl and their burly bit of work, today's muscle cars might pass as legitimate sports cars. America's blue-collar heroes still charge hard in a straight line, but they now corner with the confidence of a European coupe. It's the result of decades-long evolution, but also recent strides in chassis dynamics. Ford's breakthrough arrived in 2014, just in time for the Mustang's 50th birthday, when engineers included for the first time an independent rear suspension across their entire pony car lineup. They created the most civilized, the most docile, and the most tossable Mustang outside of the odd Stallion Track Day Special. The 2016 edition is essentially unchanged from the car introduced 2 years ago, although it has spawned the race-bred Shelby GT350 and GT350R, cars that smear the distinction between juiced-up muscle and flexible sport cars into an indistinguishable blur of racing stripes and 8-cylinder thunder. As it was in the beginning, so it is now. Just like in the 60s, Ford's Mustang success has Chevrolet playing catch-up with its new Camaro. The Chevy V8 now turns out an additional 29 horsepower, but it's clear that the engineers directed most of their energy toward the chassis. Reborn on GM's Alpha platform, the new, 6th-generation Camaro uses the same core that forms the basis of the German-baiting Cadillac ATS and CTS. It is lighter and trimmer than the Zeta platform-based Camaro it replaces and benefits from the suspension and steering expertise that is quickly, and surprisingly, becoming a GM hallmark. We left the Dodge Challenger on the bench for this test. After its third-place finish in our December 2014 comparison, where a similarly equipped Mustang took the gold, we knew where the Challenger would place in this round. If it wants to run with these two athletes, Dodge needs to cut the fat. The Challenger is more than 9 inches longer than either car here and weighs some 400 pounds more. For this test, the manufacturers provided the top-performing versions of the common man's V8 muscle car. For Chevrolet, that means a Camaro SS with a 455 HP, 6.2-liter V8 equipped with magnetorheological dampers, $1,695, and the 8-speed automatic transmission, $1,495. The $895 dual-mode exhaust doesn't make the car any more powerful, but it delivers a metallic avian all assault. The top Tier 2 SS trim includes cooled and heated seats, blind spot monitoring, and ambient interior lighting that can be set to one of 24 colors, 1/4 of which are variations of pink, bringing the total price to $47,480. Ford brought its 435 HP Mustang GT enhanced with the $2,495 performance pack. That add-on brings a strut tower brace, revised suspension tune, a larger radiator, Brembo front brakes, and a limited slip differential with a shorter final drive ratio, and is available only with the manual transmission. We're beginning to believe that bringing a manual transmission to a drag race these days is akin to handing out Obama stickers at an open carry meeting, but the manual Mustang actually puts up an admirable fight. In previous testing, the three-pedal version ran dead even with the automatic Mustang GT. The premium trim makes our test car every bit as upscale as the Camaro, but with a price almost $4,500 lower at $43,070. To give these two increasingly competent corner hunters a proper challenge, we pointed them toward Southeast Ohio, to the Hocking Hills and roads so twisted and rural that you'd suspect them to be dating their cousin. There's nothing else like the Mustang in Ford's U.S. portfolio. It's the lone 8-cylinder car and the only rear-drive vehicle in Dearborn's arsenal that isn't a truck. That's both a blessing and a curse. On the upside, Mustang engineers have the freedom to craft their car without the constraints of shared parts. But neither does the Mustang benefit from the trickle-down economics that comes with building higher-performing Corvettes and more expensive Cadillacs. In a vacuum, you could be lulled into thinking that Ford perfected the American muscle car with this Mustang. Freed of its stick axle and back, the original pony car now handles corners and busted concrete with ease. The competent chassis musters 0.94 grams of grip around the skid pad and executes a 72-0 stop in just 157 feet. The steering effort builds in a linear fashion and offers a modicum of feedback. The brake pedals in both of these cars are firm and responsive, yet the Mustang's binders start biting earlier with less pedal travel. But when you start to draw comparisons about those dynamic attributes so essential to driver satisfaction, the Chevrolet exposes the Ford's vulnerable spots. Simply put, the Mustang GT is softer than the Camaro SS. The Mustang leans in corners. Under acceleration, the haunches squat and the hood rears back. The slightly slow, fixed-rate 16.01 steering hides a small dead spot on center, and despite wider tires, there is not as much front-end grip as in the Camaro. That makes the Mustang more prone to understeer and less willing to rotate under throttle. The Mustang rides on non-adjustable dampers, so even though you can toggle through the same 4 drive modes as those in the Camaro, you can't alter the Ford's roll resistance or ride quality. That said, the single tune of the Performance Pack nicely balances ride and handling. Body motions, though large, are always deliberate, never clumsy or inaccurate. Hustling the Mustang over hills and around bends is old school, organic fun. The Camaro, damping out impacts with minimal body motion and no sacrifice in ride quality, proves that the technology exists to do it better. With a torque deficit of 55 pound-feet and a redline 500 revolutions per minute higher than the Chevrolet small blocks, Ford's 5.0-liter Coyote engine needs to be spun out to keep pace. Its intensity builds exponentially with revs, and, around 4,000 revolutions per minute, the energy swells in an intoxicating crescendo toward 435 horsepower in the top of the tachometer. Launched at 3,500 revolutions per minute, the Mustang GT will break 60 miles per hour in 4.4 seconds and trip the quarter-mile in 13.0. The 6-speed stick moves with tight, precise action, but the throws are a touch longer and the effort a bit stiffer than we prefer.